Hi, Aquarius. I know. It's taking forever. I know. But you guys are running your minds in a loop so bad right now that, like, even when I start thinking about doing your readings, I'm like, I start looping about stuff. And I'm like, no, stop it. That's not you. Don't loop. And why am I saying don't loop? Why do I know not to loop? As a fellow air sign, let me tell you that looping is how you push things away. That thing you want that you're looping about in your head, looping about it is pushing it away. Right. I know that. That's why I try not to do it. But whenever I start thinking about you guys, then it happens because you guys have been going through it. For sure, for sure. And I feel like there have been some pretty harsh moments in the past month. Some pretty, like, surprisingly harsh moments. You know, you guys are used to being the ones that can be a bit cold, a bit distant, a bit harsh. But recently, people have been harsh right back. People have been like, you know what? Enough with this. I'm not taking this from you anymore. People may have cut you off, cut you out, gotten tired of it, you know, where you find yourself a bit isolated. You find yourself kind of looking around at your friends and your family and going, how many of these people do I actually like? Do I actually trust? Do I actually want to be around anymore? You know, because I feel like there's a period of assessment that needs to happen now with you. Like self-assessment about who you allow to be around you, but also what behavior you allow yourself to partake in. I feel like a lot of times that you guys can explain away bad behavior and then you just refuse to look at it again and say, okay, well, maybe, you know, you refuse to go back and process it and say, maybe it was not the best way to proceed. You just kind of take it in, sublimate it, and then you think it's gone, and it's not. It's not gone at all. It's been sublimated, and it will come back out, and it will manifest as something in your reality. Or as a sickness, you know, within yourself. So, a lot of times when you guys do things that aren't very nice, when you're harsh to people, when you're too demanding, when you do things that are not very nice to you, as in looping about something or someone in your head, it's very destructive for you. When you do these things, you have a tendency to lay the blame aside and say, oh, well, you know, maybe there's no reason to blame anybody. Let's be super abstract about it. Maybe there's no, what is blame? You know, kind of thing. Instead of saying, yeah, you know what, that's my fault. I shouldn't be doing that. I should take more responsibility for my emotions. I should take more responsibility for being harsh to people. I should take more responsibility for this single-minded, really, you know, direct kind of energy of like, I want what I want, you know, and most times that's great. You know, it gets you where you want to go. It gets you what you want. But how many dead bodies do you leave in your wake? You know? And how many of those dead bodies kind of came back to life this month and were like, no, enough with you. I'm not dealing with you. You know? So, bottom of the deck. That about says it, right? The pain that you have caused others is catching up with you in some ways here. And not to say that it's a totally negative reading. I'm not saying that. It's just, you know, you got to be real. You got to be real with yourself about the way that you behave and the way that you make people feel. So let's take a look at these cards and let's talk about what's going on this month. So, very good card to start off with, right? 6 of Wands, Ace of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, 2 of Wands, Chariot in reverse, 4 of Swords, the Fool, the Tower, Death, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups in reverse, and the Devil. Okay, so overall, what we're looking at here is, I want to say that you guys are being made to wake up you guys are going to be given this kind of boost that comes from the dissolution of something, the conflict within something that needs to be addressed, something that needs to be confronted, that you may have been running from, now becomes the fuel for November, for you to actually see things clearly and get things done. Because here's the thing, being super in your head all the time can make you irresponsible. It can help you talk yourself out of things and lessen the guilt of things that you should feel guilty for, you know, but you don't, because you find a way to rationalize it and kind of get rid of it. And this month, what the universe is saying is not so fast, you know, because there are a lot of people here who are not feeling good and feeling really hurt because of how they may have been treated by you. And that's something you need to look at, because there's a huge change that's come upon you. I want to say it started last month and you're still feeling the effects of it. And that huge change that you're feeling is just looking around at everybody and thinking, wow, are these the people that I'm surrounding myself with? Is this the environment? You know, the environment that once looked really, really good. Like things that you really wanted, be this a relationship, a friendship, your family, you know, a group of friends that you used to always hang out with. Now that doesn't look so good anymore. Now it looks all turned around, and you feel like you're waking up to the reality of things being so different than you thought. You know, these two cards couldn't be more different. You know, what you may have thought was going on, which is just you being like, I'm just going to be an Aquarius, yay, I'm just doing what I want, you know, and what's really going on. And the reality, you know, the way my beloved math teacher, my math professor always put it is, there's a bus. And at some point or another in your life, that bus hits you, no matter who it is. And I feel like that bus, in many ways, has hit you coming into this month, right? And so what have you realized from that? Well, on a very basic level, you may have realized that you're not as perfect as you think. That you've got some qualities that truly do cause pain. And they upend situations that would have otherwise been very nice. You know, and isn't that ironic? To say that, you know, the most human of the signs, the one who cares the most, would be the one to wreak havoc on social settings. But it has happened. You have been that, you know, odd man out. You have been the one who has caused some conflict, right? But now that we're coming into this month, what I see first of all is some love of yours trying to come back. This may not necessarily be something that you're into. This may not be something that you're happy about. It may really, really bother you that this person wants to come back, especially at this time when you've had these realizations, when you're going to be in the midst of, you know, becoming more self-aware. This may not be the right time, and that person will come back with like, hey, I've got lots to offer you. Hey, let's do it. Hey, let's try again. Hey, I miss you. Right? And the universe is saying, yeah, cool. You can have a shot at it. Sure, you can do it. But this thing that you've got going on, Aquarius, where if things don't go exactly the way you want them to go, you're just so ready to cut and run on everything. This black and white kind of duality to your nature, it's just so destructive. Right? Because everything is gray. Every situation is gray. And when you apply your black and white logic to gray things, you hurt yourself, you hurt people, and you upend situations. Which is why now you're feeling, you know, you've been stuck. So now you're going to get this boost of energy that's going to move you. But the cards are saying, but which way are we moving? It is not enough, Aquarius, to just move. You must have a proper direction. So this is a card of, sure, movement, but in the wrong way, in the wrong direction, with the wrong intention. This is upside down. Yes, things should be moving very fast right now. Yes, the planets in the sky and everything, they aid you in moving really fast right now. But which way are we going? What needs to happen for this direction to be chosen, you need to really be honest with yourself. You need to deeply self-reflect on how you treat people and what feeling you leave them with. Okay? Because it's one thing for an Aquarian to rationalize within their head that they've done nothing wrong because they're just coming from the heart, they're being very honest, they didn't do anything wrong, and the way that people perceive the things they do. You can delude yourselves. You can be self-delusional, right? Excuse me. So, having said that, waking up from that, waking up from your own delusions, waking up from the reality of what people around you are actually like. All of this will come as a huge shock to you, but it's being done the way it is so you can get rid of people, so you can get rid of some habits of your own, so you can get rid of some very toxic dynamics which at the moment are running your life. And you're looping about them, like I said before I shuffled the cards, big time looping about them. To the point where like I started to do your reading and my chest got all tight and my head, my mind started to race and I'm like, whoa, don't do that, because I'm in deep meditation pretty much all the time when I'm out doing this for somebody that I love very deeply and kind of like trying to help them with something. So I can't afford to have my mind loop like this. So I feel the pain that you feel when you start looping like this. And I also see how it takes you out of the game in every way possible. It distracts you. It takes you out of what you should be. It upends things that should be pretty simple and work well. None of that happens when you're, running in circles for no reason. And again, because Aquarius has this kind of open-hearted, proud of yourself for being an open heart, proud of yourself for being brave and abstract, because you have this quality, a lot of signs suffer from not trusting their superpower. So for example, there's a lot of Virgos who don't trust their intuition. And a Virgo who doesn't trust their intuition is not ever going to be happy. Then there are signs who are too indulgent of their superpower, right? They don't suppress their superpower. They're so, they embrace it so completely that it becomes a liability, right? So what I'm trying to say is, Aquarius, it's all fine and good that this is how you feel and that this is how you approach life. But let me tell you, there are times when you have to look down and you have to care about what you're doing to other people and how you're making them feel. This is not always the appropriate emotion. This is not always the appropriate approach to caring about, to people who you care about, people that you should feel obligated to, people who deserve more from you, right? This isn't enough, is what I'm saying. So this month, you will learn that this is not enough. You will end up shaking off some pretty bad elements that have been stuck to you for quite some time. Like I said, that could be a friendship, it could be a relationship, it could be something between you and your parents, it could be something between you and a teacher or a boss. It doesn't matter. It's just that you've been running in circles in your mind. Just running. And now finally, instead of just running in your mind and, almost taking the easy, well, it's not easy, but it's easier than confronting people, easier way out. Not that Aquarians have a problem confronting people. It's just, why should you have to go through all that? That's more what it is. But this month, you will have to shake things up. You will have to get rid of people. You will have to confront some stuff. You will have to be honest and brave. And after you have looked inside yourself and say, the way this is going, I don't like it. And yes, I've done a lot of stuff that may have added to what's happening now, and I admit it. I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to let go of this ego. Okay? I'm going to allow this change. I'm going to be open to this change. And why? And open to my own flaws. I'm open to acknowledging what is actually going on with me and why. Well, simply because I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of feeling lonely. I'm tired of feeling heartbroken. I'm tired of feeling like everything is my fault. I'm tired of things blowing up in my face or people blowing up in my face. I don't want to do any of this anymore, right? And what the universe is saying is, great, if you don't want to do that anymore, then be useful. Don't just take, okay? Give. Give to all these people around you who may or may not even deserve it. It doesn't matter if they deserve it or not. It's your karma we're talking about. It's what you have to do to get your karma straight because of the way that you've been acting, or because of your inherent qualities as an Aquarius that keeps you from, caring too deeply sometimes, that can make you super harsh sometimes, that can, really destroy people with your anger sometimes. All of these things are being called into question now because you are being asked the bigger question of, are you of any use to people, to the world, to anything? Are you the one who takes all the time, or do you also know how to give? Do you know, is it only important when you feel left out in the cold? Or is it just as important when you do this to other people? Are the standards for what an Aquarius will tolerate in the same as what they give out? Is what I'm trying to say. And obviously the answer is no. Right? So this month sees you finally waking up to this stuff and saying, why don't I do as much for other people the way that I should? Well, maybe you're not doing as much for those people because they don't deserve it. Maybe it's that simple. I'm not saying it just has to be, oh, I'm a jerk, I'm not doing this. No, you might have very good reasons for that. But then if these people are people that you wouldn't do stuff for, and you know they're not nice people, why are you still friends with them? You see what I'm getting at? There are some confrontations and some hard truths and realities that we need to face here, Aquarius. And it's not going to be easy, because when it comes to friends and community and family, who wants to lose that? Who wants to put that at jeopardy? Nobody does. Especially not you guys, because you can be very, very, very alone in your head. And sometimes family's the only thing you've got because they're the only people you don't have to explain yourself to, if you're lucky. So what I would suggest, and what the cards suggest very much so, is you gotta relax in the mind and get right with yourself and figure out once and for all if this is the type of feeling you want to leave people with when they've been around you for a while. Do you want them to feel miserable and left out? Because it all becomes, about you? Or do you want them to feel included and together with you? Because right now, they don't. And right now, that's not what you're projecting either. Right? So, how do you decide? How do you decide who to keep in your life and who to get rid of? How do you decide what to do about this ex who very much wants to come back? What helps you through this? And what helps you through this is a very honest conversation between the ego and the heart. The mind and the heart. Okay? Because you're not coming up here in this reading in any of these swords unless you would like to, identify it with that sword. But I don't think you do. This is what's happening here. You vacillate between your head and your heart. And what happens is when you're in this mode of just being in brain mode, there is a lot of harshness that can come out of you without you even realizing. But then you very quickly will switch to heart mode. And that can lead to self-pity. That can lead to you feeling sorry for yourself. So there's a bunch of different elements here that have to do with you finally waking up and opening your eyes to your own dynamics, to other people's dynamics, to other people's patterns, your own patterns, and wanting very much and having the impetus to start and change, start changing them. Right? What does it mean? What are you doing here? What does it mean? What does it mean to your friends and family? What are you good for? Okay? Because all these things that have happened and all these people that have told you, you let me down, you're being like this, you're being like that, all those people that you wanted that you couldn't have, the people that you loop about and want to love and want to be with, who won't acknowledge you, who won't go that extra step with you, all of this is hearkening back to the same thing. What do you have to offer? What's your value? Is this all you have? Is that your value? Is this all you have? Empty fun times? Is that your value? Is this all you have? A mind devoid of heart. You see what I'm saying? So all these cards are pointing to, who are you? What does it mean now to be you? What do you add to... See, the thing is, you're the sign of adding to society. So when you guys don't add to society, things don't go well. Not for you and not for the world. Okay? So, what the world is basically saying, what the universe is basically saying to you is, you have to be of more use than just what you want. Yes, it's great to want things. It's great to be direct. It's great to focus on something and say, I'm going to focus on this until I get it. But you have to realize that it's not always about getting what you want. And trust me, I know how ironic that sounds coming from a Gemini. Don't be offended. I'm not trying to offend you. It's just that Aquarians can get so caught up in what they want and how they want things to go, that they don't realize how unfair they're being to other people. They don't realize how much they're hurting other people. They don't realize how much they're turning everything around them upside down in the most unfair way, and then pointing fingers and saying, well, why did you let this happen? Well, how come this happened? And the person's just like, okay, is there any sense of responsibility here? Like, are you going to acknowledge the fact that you are responsible for half of the crazy stuff that's going on, or no? So you have people this month getting to a point with you where if they haven't already left or haven't already, decided to tell you off and say, listen, this is how you are and I don't like it. I see that that's still very much possible, but it's only happening for those people who still need for something to shake them and wake them up and get them out of this really, really bad pattern. Right? And hopefully change your vibe, change your energy, change what you're magnetized to. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, I've been a little bit sick. So, having said that, what you're moving out of now, it's not over yet. Okay? There's still things that the black and white thinking Aquarius needs to learn. And those things include your impact on others. It's very much time for you to see how you affect things and how you affect people. You see? This is all part of, it's like the venom. It's like everything with me is like physiological, psychological, it all like meshes together for me. It's you guys need to be more careful of what's coming out of here. You guys have to watch what you're saying to people and how you're making people feel with this chakra of yours, because I can feel it. I can feel the knives that you have ready to spit out at people. And it's coming back around to you, where kind of karma needs to hold this up to you and say, do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand how you're making other people feel? Yes, you are in pain. Yes, you have things going on. Yes, you want things. We get that. But at what cost? Again, we're back where we were, last month in many ways. So sorry. Because this is something that you still need to address. You need to figure out and this is the month to do it, where you figure out, am I just this automaton that picks something that I want and then goes after it? Is that all I am, or is there more to me than that? Do people mean more to me than just what I can get from them? I don't think this has ever happened to me before. I mean, it's happened when I read for people who have these things going on. I will have all sorts of like physical reactions, but I don't think it's happened on YouTube yet. It's so interesting how clearly certain energies come in. So, I'm going to have some tea now. I did it. I did the Aquarius reading. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad. It's not that bad. It's just that you guys need to... You know that hard look you take at everybody else? That hard way that you can be with everybody else? This month you do it with yourself. I'm actually being super nice compared to like what I could have said, because I do know that underneath this really hard thing, like with every air sign, you are very sensitive and you have been going through it, and I know that. I know that it's been hard for you. I know that there's been a lot going on in your head that you wish wasn't there. There's a lot looping that you wish wasn't. You can feel a bit victimized by your own mind. I get that. I understand that. And so that's why I'm kind of holding back as well, which I think is also why, you know, my like chakra was like, spit it out, tell them. And it's like, no. Just hold it. Just pull it back a little, because they are in pain. And I feel your pain. I feel that when you are this way with other people, even though you can't really help it, but you see when they are hurt, it does hurt you. It's not like you're unfeeling or monsters or something that you can just hurt people. And you are also hurt when you hurt people. But the universe is saying, okay, so stop. This is the month where you can have that moment of self-awareness. You can have that moment where you go, oh, okay. And maybe this ex coming back into your life is part of that. Maybe, you know, this kind of fiery ex person who comes back is coming back to tell you, you know, listen, there's a couple of things that you need to look at in yourself. And maybe they're not even consciously coming back to tell you that, but the experience that you will have with them will open your eyes to something about yourself, and you'll gain some greater insight into how you can be. And hopefully it will soften you a little, because I think that's what this time period for you will be about, is gaining the insight of how you seem from the outside, understanding that things aren't as black and white as you think they are. And then being able to come from a deeper place of compassion with people. Because here's the thing. When Aquarius, things are really black and white, it's hard to be compassionate. Right? Compassion is really, lies in the realm of the gray area. Because under the right circumstances or the wrong circumstances, with the right or wrong logic, you can be compassionate towards just about anybody. And that's not possible when things get divided into two very distinct categories. It's very hard, because then what you do is you assign compassion only to the people that you think deserve it. And that's not how compassion works. Compassion is not given out because someone is deserving. Compassion is something that you give out because everyone is deserving. Right? Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Right? That's compassion. Forgive them. They know not what they do. That's compassion. All of them are idiots. Don't be mad at any of them. They're all morons. That's compassion. Not these people are good, these people are bad, this thing is good, this thing is bad. I feel bad for these people. I have feelings for these people, but these people suck and who cares what happens. That's not compassion, right? And so what the universe is trying to do is it's trying to open you up so you can see that things aren't as dual as you think they are. They're a lot more singular, right? It's not like this. It's more like this. Okay, things are, there's an underlying unity to things that you have to key into here. And the thing is, once you learn this, once you go through this, you will become more compassionate with others. But what's more important for me and what I want you to focus on is this process will make you more compassionate with yourself. And that's what ultimately this comes down to, is that, see, now my chakra's fine because now I'm yelling at you. That's what this comes down to, is you need to have this awakening. You need to see how you treat other people, because this is the only way you're really going to see how you treat yourself. Aquarians are extremely hard on themselves, and it keeps you from your blessings. It keeps you from what could be yours. It keeps you from happiness. It turns things that could be perfect all the way upside down. You turn things that could be perfect all the way upside down because you're so hard on yourself, and then you're hard on other people. So learning compassion towards other people, realizing that things aren't as dual as you think they are, and they're certainly not as black and white as you think they are, will alleviate some of that pressure and looping in your head, because you will gain some understanding and some compassion for yourself. Okay? Super, super important. So, let's see what the 12 doors to the soul has to say for you guys. Saturn aspects. The aspects to and from any planet have much to do with whether the positive or negative qualities of that planet will find ready expression. With the dynamic planets Mars, Sun, Jupiter, and Uranus, there may be more difficulty along with positive results. For example, Saturn with Mars shows as clash or harmony between impulse and delay. With the Sun, there may be wisdom or arrogance. With Jupiter, we find good business judgment or financial frustrations. And with Uranus, you have a clash between conservatism and unconventionality. Black and white. One or the other. This or that. Take it from a Gemini. Nothing is black and white. Nothing is this or that. We are the sign of duality. We embody duality in one person. We are the sign that teaches you that there is no such thing as duality. We are the integration of the black and the white, the good and the bad, the male and the female. It is possible to be singular in a dual world. Okay, so learn that from us. Learn that from your fellow air sign. Things are not this or that. That's what the book is saying. That's what the cards are saying. That's what I'm saying. When you realize things are not this or that, you will stop being so this or that with yourself. Okay, because you also act in a gray way. And you need that gray area compassion for yourself as well as for other people around you. Okay? Not so bad. You know I love you guys. I told you already. You're my favorite. You know I love you guys. I'll see you next month. Oh, before I go. We know about the mala, yeah? It'll be in the link below, Shinshaya Jewelers. I'm so glad I remembered before I turned it off. You guys could probably benefit more than anybody from having one of these, especially if you hit her up and ask for the rose quartz one, because I feel like all the air signs that have reached out to me for one have ordered the heart opening one, actually, because we definitely can be steely. And when I tell you that this thing has helped, I mean, I'm not going to go into it, but my life has turned around so much since I started wearing. I'll go into it in next month's Gemini reading, but it's been fantastic, astounding. So if you're interested, if you need some of this heart healing, okay, or if like you guys' throat chakra does need a little care right now, you can hit her up and get something that's specifically designed, something more blue based for your chakra. She knows all about the crystals. She can guide you through which one will do what for you. You know, it's energetic medicine, so you can be very open with her about what it is that you're looking for and what you're looking to heal or achieve. So please hit her up. I'm going to link it in the description below. And also, like I've said in the other videos, if you know a child that's being bullied in school, if you and you don't mind them talking to someone like me, if you know someone who is a veteran from our armed services and needs help, I am very, very good with vets who have PTSD, to the point where a lot of the vets I've worked with live completely normal lives now, and it is the joy of my life that I am able to help them. I'm from a military family myself. Both my parents were in the military. I feel very deeply for our boys. Okay, so hit me up. The email will also be in the description below, and I'll see you next month, Aquarius. Be nice. Okay? Be nice.